Jason Rzucidlo reporting inside Cobo Center in downtown Detroit for the SAE Detroit Section meeting. Tonight's featured vehicle is the 2011 Chevrolet Volt. Stay tuned for remarks from tonight's featured speakers right here on AmericaJR.com.
The Chevrolet Volt concept is a plug-in electric vehicle.
You plug the car, you go 40 miles an hour, put a drop of gas in it. That's 15,000 miles a year.
Isn't it great? The Chevy Volt is really fantastic. The best thing about it, in addition to being a great looking car, is this right here. The Chevy Volt is a plug-in car, no compromises. Everything that you expected in today's automobile, this automobile will have, except it'll be cleaner, quieter, and cheaper to drive.
We're gonna go do this. We're gonna be the first that made a plug-in announcement at an OEM. We're the first that have said that we're gonna do an electrically driven vehicle like the Chevy Volt, and so we think we're on the right track.
You know, we take it very seriously within General Motors. This is probably the most important vehicle that we have going, and we're committed to putting it on the road.
This is going to be a hit. I mean, the consumers, I get calls, emails all the time. They want electric vehicles. They're tired of buying gas. We need a vehicle in America.
It's now my great pleasure to present to you the production version of the Chevrolet Volt.
Welcome, everyone. It feels great to be here. I'm proud to represent the men and women of General Motors who developed and executed the Chevy Volt program. I'm proud to lead the program tonight, and I hope you'll enjoy kind of the tour we take through the technology that it took to put the Volt together, and then why we think the Volt is so important, and why we're so, frankly, happy about how the car turned out, and excited about our future. So the reason we started the presentation tonight with, frankly, some old footage. If you recognize that, that was the original concept introduction. That was the original styling introduction of the car, is because I wanted to start by taking us back to that concept. And one of the great things about the Volt is the reason for being, or the concept of the Volt, has really stayed the same since day one. I think everyone on the Volt team can recite it, a pure electric vehicle with a range extender on board. And there's a lot of detail behind that, but at the end of the day, that was our reason for being, that was our mission in life, and that's what we spent 4 years working on. So next slide, please. So again, I just want to talk about that a little bit more. 3 things here that I want to drill in on. First of all, a fully functional electric vehicle. Now what that means is 0 to 60 in 8 or 9 seconds, full electric power. That means full vehicle speed, top speed of 100 miles an hour, full electric power. And as long as you have battery, it's fully electric, it drives electric, it feels electric, an EV vehicle. Matter of fact, we created a new term that we at GM know relatively well. It's called EREV, Extended Range Electric Vehicle. And the key thing about the electric range is we needed to go what we thought is about 40 miles. Now there's a reason why we picked 40, and the slide says real world range. Andrew and Mickey and Pam will all talk a little bit about this, but essentially we talked to our customers, we looked at how customers use vehicles. There's some DOT data we use, there's several studies, but the fact that we've used is about 78% of the people drive 40 miles or less a day. And so our idea was, we know we can't currently create an electric vehicle that will drive endlessly without charges, but if we could design one that meets this 40 miles a day target, but also has an onboard generator to keep going, man, this ought to really give our customers something they want. They can drive the car to Florida if they need to, they stop and fill up and keep going. It doesn't harness them in any way how they drive the car, but most of the time they'll be driving in EV mode. I think the key thing is, most of the time doesn't mean they'll always drive at 40 miles. So yes, it goes about 40 miles in EV mode, but almost everyone will want to drive more. So therefore, we figured we had to add an onboard range extender. And I know everyone knows this story, but that's part of, I think, why we were so focused and so able to pull this car off. 40 miles pure EV range with an onboard generator that drives just like the car drives when the battery is full. So a solution to range anxiety. Now we've learned this lesson in our past, and we think everybody who's going to deal with this end of the business and this part of the technology, we really think you have to address it as well. So that's kind of our original mission. We've got some speakers tonight, some great people within the company. There's a lot of talented people in the company. Mickey Y, who's our executive director of everything electrical and hybrid in the company for all our vehicles. He's going to talk primarily about our battery. When we started this program, we had a concept, we had a sense of being, but we didn't have a battery. We didn't have hybrid controls. We didn't necessarily have drive units. We didn't have all the technical capability and details to put this together. So Mickey's going to take you through what makes a battery tick, how we keep it warm, how we keep it cold, how we make it last a long time and be very durable, and he'll take you through that. Pam Fletcher is our vehicle chief, or our powertrain chief engineer. Pam is going to take you through how we set this box up, this propulsion system up, so we can get our 40 miles of pure EV range, but then allow that onboard generator to kick on and drive the vehicle the same way it does in electric mode. Andrew Farah, our vehicle chief engineer, will come up and talk a lot about efficiency. He'll talk about mass reduction, he'll talk about coefficient drag, he'll talk about tires and rolling resistance, and at the end he'll sum that up into fuel economy, kind of our EPA label, and then this new world of how do we communicate to customers how this vehicle is best used. And then I'm going to come back up and do a quick wrap up. But if you remember anything tonight, if you're a potential customer of a Volt, or you're going to talk about the Volt, I think one of the things that we like to key on is this concept of as long as you keep charging as much as you can and you maximize your use in EV range, this 40 miles range, you get the most benefit from the car, and the car will operate optimally. But the beauty is, if you don't want to, you don't have to, and you don't really have any of the bars or constraints to driving whenever you want, wherever you want, and it'll operate much as a normal vehicle. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mickey Bly.
Thanks, Doug. I've got the opportunity to speak for a number of people in GM who put their heart, their souls, many nights, many days, many vacations, many missed activities of their kids, their spouses, over the last 4 years. And in fact, what's unique about this group of individuals at GM is when we started this project just 4 years ago, the size of the battery organization at General Motors was about 10 or 15 engineers. Today, we have about 250 to 300 engineers working in this space. So we didn't find these engineers sitting around the company, that had all this great knowledge and great experience. We had to go find the best talent. We had to go find new college grads. We had to find experts in the industry from around the world. We're able to do that. What's interesting about the battery team that I have the pleasure to be a leader of is the average age of our engineers that are working on the Volt battery over the last 4 years is 27 years old. The average age of the rest of my organization is 47 years old. So not only do we have to grow new technology, new capability, we had to bring a whole new breed of engineers on board here. It's something we're quite proud of. A lot of them are here in the room today. They're smiling right now. It's something for the last, as I said, 4 years, they put everything they had into it. So let's talk a little bit about the battery. The Volt battery is a very complex set of parts, systems, subsystems, management systems, electrical systems, mechanical systems, manufacturing, you name it. It all came together into a battery. Early on, we always heard it's all about the battery. Well, in the early days, it's all about the battery was the first thing every meeting started off with. When will you have it? How well will it be? Who's going to make it? What's the problems we're going to have? What about warranty? How is this thing ever going to work? And what I charged the team with back then was, you want to be the last thing talked about